Okay, I hope this works. I don't know, but I'm gonna give it a try. Let's get this done so we can move on, so you don't have homework, but right now it's looking like there's a bit of homework. Okay, so the whole goal of cellular respiration is to create high dollar molecule. What's the molecule that we want to create? ATP. Very good. And ATP stores
energy.
Thank you very much. Okay, so before we start on the last, I want you to flip over your sheet of paper, and we already have your equation. We already have C6H12O6 plus O2 yields H2O plus CO2. We already have that. I want you to add energy. That is basically our third product. Okay, we are creating the molecule that stores energy. Okay, so we're going to go back over here, and first of all, the very first step, where is this in the cell? It's in the cytoplasm. You are correct. Our first step takes place in the cytoplasm, and it's called glycolysis. What is the molecule here that breaks down? That is glucose. Very good. Excellent. The stars are what?
ATP.
Very good. Over here, what is this cycle called?
The Krebs cycle.
The Krebs cycle. But it takes place where, Chloe? In the mitochondria. Thank you very much. Okay. What are these two molecules called that were louder? Pyruvates. Very good. Both of those pyruvates break into, what are the stars? ATP. And our stop signs are CO2. And all of our little circles from here and here and here, well, let's go with the circles, are all called what? NADH. All of those are NADH. This triangle is
FHDH.
FADH2. So if you didn't write that down, make sure it's correct. Both of those are FADH2. Okay, so our last stage, stage number 3, is called the electron transport chain, ETC. Okay, if you guys remember from yesterday, NADH and FADH2, their role is to take electrons over here. They're just carriers. They carry the electrons over here. And they also donate their hydrogen atoms to this process. That's their job, is to carry. That's why they're made, is because the hydrogen and the electrons are needed over here. Okay? So the electron transport chain, we are still inside of the mitochondria. We're just in the little membrane on the outside of it. Okay? So a few things in this diagram. These little ovals, these are, make sure I'm still on the board, these are protein channels. They're like little tunnels, or very similar to what was in the cell membrane. Okay? This guy right here, this is an enzyme. His name is ATP synthase. We've seen him before. Where did we see him? Thank you, photosynthesis. We've already seen him before. Okay? Okay, so this is what happens. This NADH, this FADH2 all makes their way into the inner membrane, into the electron transport chain. Can you see how NADH, okay, it is going to change and it's going to turn into NAD. What has it lost?
Hydrogen.
Lost the hydrogen. That hydrogen that has been lost has gone up here. Okay? Now this guy actually moves over. I just don't have a picture for it, so we're going to draw two pictures. we're gonna draw we're gonna draw two triangles, okay? One triangle is FADH2, and it is gonna transform itself into FAD. When it transforms itself into FAD, what has it lost?
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen. Two of them. One hydrogen is going to go up here, boom, right here. The other hydrogen is going to make its way up here. Okay? They also lose their electrons. They're losing a lot of stuff. So both of these guys are going to lose their electrons. So you can make an arrow here and an arrow here. They lose their electrons. The electrons float across the membrane, the protein channels, excuse me, and they are deposited down here. And they're going to be used. They're just not used yet. Okay? We'll get back to that electron. I want to look at the hydrogen here. Okay, so the hydrogen go through the protein channels. They all kind of file up single file line, and they make their way down here into the ATP synthase. They're going to flow through here. Can you see how they flow all the way through? Okay. Does anybody remember what their job was in photosynthesis? They were what?
Which one?
Just the hydrogen. As the hydrogen went through the enzymes.
They were like the
They replaced.
key guy.
Ooh, close.
Gatekeeper.
They're the gatekeepers. Yeah. They're the gatekeepers. They open up the enzyme and they say it's time to start working, like get to work. So the whole purpose of getting these hydrogen atoms and making them go through here is to make the ATP synthase start working. Okay? They open it up and it's like it's time to start working. So what happens is as the hydrogen goes through, that's Kiefer, or that's the time to say, guess what? Make an ATP. So now this machine's going to start cranking out ATP. It's going to crank out 34 of them. So the hydrogen goes through, the enzyme is like, oh, it's time to get to work. They convert ADP into ATP and they crank out 34 of them. Okay? Also, we've got some extra hydrogen here. We take the electron here, and this little guy right here, this guy's actually oxygen. So if we have hydrogen, if we have some electrons, and we have oxygen, we make water, which is the third, because we now have three products. We have the carbon dioxide, right? That's one of the products of cellular respiration. Another product is water, and then the last product is ATP. Okay? So the purpose of the hydrogen is to open up the enzyme and get it working. Okay? Also, the hydrogen helps to make the water in the product. Okay? And that's it. Now, before we get moving on, I know our time is a little bit limited. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and you just shout out the answers. Okay? How many ATP are produced in glycolysis? Glycolysis.
2.
2. Thank you very much. Each pyruvate molecule will make how many carbon dioxide?
3.
Very good. 3. What is the purpose of NADH?
They're electron carriers and hydrogen donators.
Thank you very much. Yep, they carry the electrons into electron transport and they carry their hydrogens. What is the enzyme that makes ATP?
ATP synthase.
Thank you very much. Very good. One last. What are the two reactants in cellular respiration?
CO2.
Okay, those are, did I say products or
You
reactants?
said reactants.
Okay, those are the products,
C6H12
C6H12O6.
which is also known as,
glucose.
and what else?
Energy.
No, that's
We breathe it in.
Oxygen.
Oxygen.
I said that.
So our two reactants are oxygen and glucose. Our three products are carbon dioxide, H2O, and energy. You got it. Okay. We're done. We're actually done with chapter 4 notes. Now we're just going to study them until next Friday. Okay? I gave you guys a study guide. It is not for a grade, but you are more than welcome to answer every single question in your notebook and use it on your test. Yep. We are going to do your Latin vocab quiz, so clear everything off. All you need is a pen or pencil. Miss Fairbanks is with us today instead of Mrs. Montgomery. For those of you who like to go out, oh, goodness gracious.